Let's discuss fast food on a carnivore diet. Hey, what's shaking bacon? My name is Bruno Panucci. I hope you're doing well. So we're going to go over a short list of foods I recommend if you're in a pinch and you got to go out and get some fast food. Now, typically, it's always a good idea to not have fast food, but it's good because sometimes you're in social events, sometimes you're with other people and they want to make a stop for lunch or dinner and just something quick. And other times it's just convenient because you've had a long day or a busy day, or you just don't feel like cooking. So we're going to go over a few ideas of places to go and why they're good and maybe why they're not so good. But before I get into it, I'd really appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe to the video. It helps the channel out a lot. I'm trying to get up to over 10,000 people and I'm not too far away from that. So let's see how this goes. Thanks for your support. So I'm down 150 pounds on this carnivore way of eating. I have about another 70 or so to go, and I'm pretty satisfied with the results. I just hit a long plateau and I've finally broken through it. It seems like I've broken through it. So we'll see how that goes. I found out my fasting insulin was really high. Even on a carnivore diet, after 2.5 years, I still had high fasting insulin. It's not unheard of, it's rare. And that's why you find certain carnivores out there troubleshooting, because they've hit plateaus like I had. The traditional advice was to just keep working through it. And that's fine, but some people have had these plateaus last years, and it's typically women in menopause or premenopause, or people who come from a history of yo-yo dieting, or women who have had a lot of children, or if you're a dude like me. So the reason why I recommend this fast food be something that you do sparingly, maybe once or twice a week, is because lots of us come from a background. I know I did. I worked 2 jobs as a massage therapist and I was always working. I had a lot of flexible spare time, but it meant a really busy schedule. So I was working about 45, 50 hours a week between laundry, booking appointments, the actual massages, and all the in-between stuff. So it was a pretty busy work week, but I enjoyed it. I really like working a lot. It's just one of my hobbies. And what often happens with that is there can be a lot of eating out. Even on a carnivore diet, you can eat out a lot, and you can eat out almost every meal. And I'm talking whether it's fast food or you're getting pre-made food from a grocery store or somewhere else. It's never as good as homemade food. You never know what happens during the cooking process. You never know if they're sneaking sugar in there, even though they're not advertising it. Maybe it's in really fine print and you don't notice because you never read the labels. And maybe it's because you don't know what kind of seasoning they use in the food. And you might have an issue with some of the seasoning. And here's a really good example. If I go to McDonald's, which is the first one on my list, I know it's really weird. I have a reaction to McDonald's, but it's the first one on my list. But I'm trying to put these in order of budget. So McDonald's is pretty simple because McDonald's are everywhere and their patties are really cheap. Now, the thing is, the patties are really small and the price varies from McDonald's to McDonald's, I find. But you can always have a reliable McDonald's fix if you need to go and just get some patties to get you by, whether you're commuting or whether it's just a quick little stop on your lunch break or after work. But here's the problem I have with McDonald's. I don't know if it's the histamines in the meat. I don't know if it's a seasoning they use, but I will get a sort of psoriasis on my forehead, dry, flaky skin, as well as the ridge of my nose. And then my nose gets a little inflamed and there's a little bit of inflammation here. And it comes and goes if I have any aged foods or salts. The reason why I think it might just be salts and not so much histamines, though it's still possible, is I can get a seasoning called Slap Ya Mama. Lots of people out there use it. It's carnivore. It's a 0-carb seasoning. And the problem is with it, I will get the same reaction. So it could be certain salts. So sometimes when it's an aged salt, that could be an issue. I haven't figured that out yet. Yes, it could be histamines. I'm not arguing that, but I can't rule out the fact that it's certain types of salt either. So regardless, when I eat at home and I have just red meat and salt and water, or even no salt, I do the best. And that condition doesn't seem to bother me so much. But McDonald's is still top on my list because it's easy to get to, it's really affordable, and you can get either a full day's worth of patties all at once or just enough to get you out of the pinch you're in. Now, the issue I have with McDonald's isn't an issue for most people. Next up would be Five Guys. So Five Guys is a place I go to maybe once a week, but I only get a few patties. So it's not too expensive, but their patties are more expensive. You're paying for that quality. They have a patty right off the grill. They make their patties in-house and then they put it on the grill. They make a smash burger basically, and they don't put any seasoning in it. So I like going to Five Guys. I do it with a buddy of mine. We have to travel out of town just to go to Five Guys, but we make a bit of a journey out of it. And we try to do it about once a week. It's just a few patties. They give it to you in a tray, and it's usually an aluminum tray, which is nice if plastic is an issue for you. I would assume lots of these restaurants that give you your food in plastic, it's a food grade plastic that doesn't matter if it gets warmed up. So Five Guys is a little more expensive. So typically when I go there, I really only get a few patties, and that's all I need. What I'll also do is I'll bring some potassium chloride. I have it in a little container. It's called New Salt, and I'll bring that with me and I'll season my burgers with that because I've been trying to get more potassium in the day. And it's an easy way to just put it on your food and still get all the potassium you need. It's probably really not all you need in a day, but it's a definite good way to go because I'm going to make a video in the near future about the potassium sodium balance your body always wants to keep. So with any of your fast food options, typically you can afford to put some potassium chloride on your food and just use that as a salt alternative. Or what I do is add it with the salt because quite frankly, it doesn't taste as good as salt. It's not bad, but it's not as good. So mixing it in with the salt, you don't even really notice it. My next pick is pretty good price-wise and as far as filling you up. But here's the thing. It's white meat, so it's chicken. Now, typically you can get chicken at any grocery store and they have it pre-made. Sometimes they make it in-house, sometimes they just order it in. And you can get it with or without the skin. That's your option. I mean, you can always take the skin off. But sometimes you can get unseasoned chickens cooked. And they're typically in Canada like around $13 or so. So it won't be too difficult to find something in the States for around $9 or $10 for a whole roasted chicken. And the nice thing is you can eat that right then and there. It comes in a little container. It's a quick meal because lots of grocery stores have them right at the entrance. And nowadays with the self-checkouts being everywhere, you can go get your lunch, boop, ring it through, boop, get to the vehicle and eat and still have lots of time. Bring some cutlery with you. Maybe always keep some in the car. Or if you're going to a place that doesn't have cutlery, make sure you get some at the grocery store. They always have some with those pre-cooked order areas. And you can just grab one of those chickens and go. You can eat as much of it as you want. And no big deal if there's some leftover because most places have a fridge you can store the stuff in. Or you can bring a cooler and just keep it in the cooler. Now, I can eat a whole roasted chicken, no problem. In fact, I'm about to down one very soon. The nice thing about these is they're all meals under $10. The chicken, it's not a nutrient-dense food, but it's a protein-dense food. And I've been having that lately, and I'm losing more weight again doing this carnivore diet and having my meals earlier in the day and having more chicken in my diet. So having a little less fat seems to be helping with weight loss, which isn't really a surprise because I'm getting less energy, but I'm making sure to balance that out with potassium chloride and salt to make sure that it's not affecting my sleep too much. So I find when I eat too early in the day and not enough later in the day, I just don't sleep well. And last night is a great example of that. I didn't sleep well at all last night. I woke up quite a few times and I noticed afterwards, I thought, yeah, you know what? I didn't really get much potassium that day. The days I get that potassium chloride throughout the day consistently, I tend to sleep better. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. If you can, like I said, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Let me know in the comments what you typically do for lunch. And plan on making another couple videos like this. Take care.